Hey, what's up everybody? Happy beginning of February. Good to see you all again. Here you are back with another Starchwreck Models Things and Stuff review. Today we have the Phobos class from Multiverse Models, or their Design Anomaly Division, I guess, something like that. I've been eyeing this kit for a long time, and I finally decided to go ahead and pick it up because it's pretty cool. And so just strap yourselves in for this one. This is pretty epic. So let's go ahead and crack her open. Of course, this is a non-canon design. That's based off, I assume anyway, it's kind of the refitted version of the Lochnar class, which we'll see the classic version. We'll put some pictures of the Phobos up as well. But this ship I could definitely see flying around, you know, in the background. You know, you got your space dock, and then it's flying around in motion picture and stuff like that. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. We'll start off, we got some directions here. Basic model building instructions, then very simple, nice photographs, very easy to follow, but it's not really a complex kit anyway. But I really love these directions, by the way. I need to just clarify that. Like, look at all the cool, the red line, and almost looks like a Starfleet document itself. Basic assembly instructions, how to do the stand, stuff like that. And then we have a very nice decal placement guide. You kind of get a look of what the ship looks like. And then a little few extra decal tips. Very, very detailed instructions that'll help you out a lot with this kit. So it's cast resin, 1/1000 scale. I don't know if I said that. I have had a look through this, but so everything's kind of disheveled in there, but it was very well packaged in peanuts and the bag and everything. So it's really nice. So let's check out this saucer section now. It's cool. They have the bridge as a separate piece, and the sensor dome as a separate piece, and the secondary hull and all that. Well, and the BC deck is separated from the bridge too, which is really nice. So that'll make painting really easy. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but all the detail is there. The panel lines, the phasers. Their phasers are at like 10 and 2 and not, you know, 12, 9, 3 or whatever, which is pretty cool. Interesting design. And then 6 o'clock, or however you want to look at it. I don't know if we're seeing all this detail looking at the tiny ass camera screen, but there we go. There it goes. All this is super detailed, even up in this little like ledge right here. There's detail in there. Really nice. There's a little shuttle bay. And these are pretty much raw. I think I was bored and was exactoing away some of the, like, you know, that like when the resin's so thin it's almost a film. I was getting rid of a little bit of that, but other than that, these are pretty much untouched. I think this is the only one I actually did any of that on. So there's a little bit of mold, pore areas, but that's super easy to get rid of. These, hopefully we'll be able to see it. The windows are cast in, maybe, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but the windows are indented, which is nice. I want to make sure everything's all lined up. This is, you know, obviously one saucer, so lighting it is probably nearly impossible, unless you're brave enough to cut it open and do that. That sounds like a horrific experience. Probably easier to take a 1/1000 scale refit and do a conversion on it, but so yeah. So there's the saucer section. This is a little base, very basic. It comes with an acrylic rod, which I forgot to bring with me, but it's just a clear rod. And I'm not sure if I'll use that or not, because every experience I've had with a clear stand has always been a nightmare. Like those Battlestar Galactica, the Viper ones, somehow I always manage, something will happen and I'll manage to break them. So I'll probably, I don't know if I'll use this base itself. I'll probably just use like a round 2 base, like one of these guys. So, because those are pretty sturdy. Yeah, so, but they do include that, and it does look really good. The clear rod looks really cool, but I'll probably just not use that. Oh, and, you know, the best thing, I probably should have saved this for last, is the best thing. You do get a pen stylus, which is a lovely, lovely item. Stylus, pen, stylus, pen, stylus, pen. With company information on it. It's the go with's always the best part. So let's check out these warp engines. And I did bring along a 1/1000 refit to compare it to, just so you can see the level of detail that we're talking about here. So, there you go. There's your regular 1/1000 refit warp engines, and they're very nice and smooth. They're detailed enough for that scale, but these guys went the extra mile, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. But you know, all those, if you've studied the Screen Use Studio model, you'll notice a lot of little like just a bunch of like squares and stuff and rectangles. They included all that on here, so you get all this kind of stuff, all these little details and engraved panel lines and stuff like that. So really very, very cool. And a nice pin and, you know, lock system, I don't know what you want to call it, keyhole system, and that'll make sure it's lined nice and straight too. So very, very cool. And there's the other one. We'll check that one out. There's a kind of a mold line around the edge, but other than that, it's pretty easy to clean up. One thing you'll have to be careful with is, since this is so, you know, deep, this peg hole right here, the opposite side is a little thin, so you just want to be careful when dealing with that. When the peg's in there and it's all glued up, it'll probably be fine, but you just want to be careful and make sure not to punch that through, because otherwise then you have to fill it. So warp engines, let's check out the secondary hull, if you want to call it that. And we've got 2 impulse crystals on the catamaran style hull. Cool looking impulse engines. And a bridge here where the torpedo launcher will attach. Got 2 deflector dishes down there, and the deflector dishes are separate pieces as well. So very Reliant style detailing. And go ahead and start piecing her together. I pieced it together a couple times, and it almost barely needs any glue. I mean, you'll glue it anyway, but I mean, the thing fits together so well, it's pretty epic. So there's that. Now we have a little bag of all the other stuff with one of these really secure Ziplocs. Ah, there we go. Got to get it at an angle. Whoop. Alrighty, let's check this out. We'll start with, let's do the pylons. Now, I don't know if they hand did this or if it was computer, you know, or 3D printed and then, you know, mastered up, but the detail and crispness of all these parts is really nice. You've even got the little, you got the trench on the front and back of the pylons, just like on the refit. So, and I probably should say, I've looked through it thoroughly. There's some flash and mold, you know, line stuff. Not a single bubble. Not a single bubble. I haven't found one. You know, sometimes you go, oh, there's a bubble or two. Not one. Not one bubble. So that's pretty cool. Here's the little torpedo launcher. Wow, I didn't even notice that. It has 3 torpedo bays. That's kind of cool. And on the back you got 2. Very nice, good detail right there. Lots of good detail on the inside of this. And here's the little bottom sensor dome and pallet or array, whatever. Very tiny little edges on it. Nicely detailed. Those are all there. And there's no detail on the inside of the little envelope, but I mean, I haven't seen anybody who's done detail on the inside of that little thing on a 1/1000 scale. But it looks spectacular. All the little lines and everything, the little like boxes that are at each north, south, east, west coordinates on that. If I could stay in focus, that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? And we've got our little bridge and BC deck, which will make painting and Aztecing a breeze. Now, I should say this does not come with Aztecing decals, but you can, we'll talk about that in a bit. There's a little lounge windows. Windows up in there. And then we've got docking bay on the back of the bridge. Maybe. Well, it's there. Lots of other good detail on this guy. All the little side details. So, really awesome. And finally, we have our two little microscopic deflector dish mounts, or whatever, deflector dishes. And they even have little itsy bitsy microscopic teeny tiny little rings for detail and kind of a step level thing like that. So those will be fun. Those will be probably the last things you add onto the ship. So let's go ahead and put that together. If I can always do it right. Sticks in there. Sticks in there. And I should say, check out their website because they sell so many different kinds of models. It's insane. Star Wars models, Trek, their own custom creations. The one I really want, and I have coming from a trade, is the Soyuz class that they make. So the episode with Kelsey Grammer, which I guess they spent all their money on Kelsey Grammer so they couldn't make a new ship, which apparently originally was supposed to be a TOS Enterprise, but so they just took the Reliant Miranda class and just added a bunch of crap on it. But I think it's kind of cool, but I like the weird stuff, as you guys probably know. So they do offer a conversion kit of that, and I guess apparently at some point they're supposed to do Saratoga as well as a conversion kit for the 1-1000 Reliant, and then they offer this guy in 1-1000 and 1400 and 2500, and same with the Soyuz, and they have so many other different models. It's pretty cool. So let's see if I can get this guy in frame. You can see her all put together. Look, no glue. It's fantastic. Now, if I could pick it up without destroying it, that'd be more spectacular, but you can kind of get an idea. Don't fall off nacelles of how cool this little ship is. So, eject the warp pylons. So let's get out a couple little things to compare her to. And I'll put ordering links to their website and Facebook page and stuff like that in the description below if you want to go check it out. Let's get this guy out of the way. And you saw the warp engines. This guy here is a commission I'm doing for a friend. Here's the 1-1000 refit saucer. And there's the neck. Here's I got this on eBay years ago, and it's all warped and whatever, so I decided to do Picard's desk model, Stargazer, the NCC 7100, so I just got to get some decals. I got to refine some of the details, but there you go. It's compared to Constellation class. And one thing I did forget we should check out are the lovely decal sheets. Now, like I said, it doesn't come with Aztecing, but I think with the proper amount of work, you can probably make, and this is kind of my plan, if I can get them out, but the 1000 Polar Lights round 2, or even an aftermarket refit Enterprise kit Aztec decal sheet, I think will work with this. You just have to, cut in certain areas and kind of paste and all that and use this and that. I see the tricky part being kind of some of these flatter areas, because I guess the decals are meant to be curved, so I think the graphics are kind of curved. I don't know. It'll be an experiment, to say the least, just to figure out how all these will fit on there. But I think for the most part they'll work pretty well. The ship, these are inkjet laser printed, but they are super nice. They are super nice. I mean, the crispness and quality of these decals is outstanding. And I've been spoiled by my favorite UGG models because they do the Alps, the fancy printing with the white underneath and everything. So ever since then, I've kind of been spoiled, and I've been turned off from other decal sets that are really pixely and fuzzy and not very sharp at all that are like inkjet or laserjet. But so I was kind of worried when I heard they were laserjet or laser printed, but all those worries are vanished with just the crispness and very sexy detail of all these decals there. This page 1, and they include a nice little wax paper, tissue paper thing going on. You got all the net registries, you got the windows, sensor bands, all that good stuff. So, yeah, there's that guy. It retails for $80, I believe, from, it's either 75 or 80, I can't even remember now. I just bought it a week ago. From the Multiverse Models website. And like I said, I'll put links in there. You can also get it from Federation Models, if I recall correctly. And it's the same price. So, but yeah, I would definitely recommend this kit, checking it out. I don't think it's really that much extra work. I mean, if you're familiar with resin modeling, it'll be a snap. The only, I mean, like I said, I don't even have any glue on this, and it's sticking together really well, so I think it'll be a really solid build. Like I said, you want to be careful about breaking the nacelles. No, punching out the little thin areas of resin, but other than that, it should be a good kit. So I think all the fun will be in doing the painting and detailing and stuff, and then you have all your decals, so it's pretty good to go. The challenge, I guess, is doing Aztecs on it, so, but I'm not an Aztec painter, or at least I haven't really done it yet, so maybe once I get into that game, I can do some neater stuff, but for now, I'll just stick with decals. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this and have made a decision whether or not you are interested in this glorious little model to add to your fleet. The non-canonness of this, I could see, you know, since it wasn't on the show, that could be a turnoff, but you could totally see this thing flying around at the dry dock scenes or the space dock scenes. It's sitting in there. Like, it just fits so well in the universe. It's just such a quality, awesome ship, so that I've now destroyed into many pieces. So anyway, that's all I can think of for now. Do the like, subscribe, all that fun stuff that's always said at the end of YouTube videos, and we will see you guys next time for another Things and Stuff review. Engage.